Good morning. This is your math sensei, Mr. Spensei, and we're going to continue on with solving equations today. We're going to hit the last step, which is distributive property. So we're going to solve equations with distributive property today. So let's go review a couple things. We're going to start off by combining like terms, which we've already done. So we're going to draw a line through the equal sign. And since we have variables on both sides, we want the variables to be on the left. This will help us out when we're actually doing inequalities next week. So we have plus 12m and plus 2m, but the very first thing we need to do is go, okay, combine like terms. Well, 3 and negative 6, those are like terms. I can combine those. So signs are different, so subtract the numbers. 6 minus 3 is 3. The sign of and 6 is farther from 0, so this is a negative 3. So we have 12m minus 3. Here I can combine the 7 and the 10, so that's 17 plus 2m. So we combine like terms. We can check that off. The next thing, we want all the variables on the left-hand side, so I need to move anything that's not on the left side. Well, the m is here, but this one's not. So we're doing the opposite because we're crossing the equal sign. Anytime you're crossing the equal sign, you're doing the opposite. So this goes away. 12 minus 2 is 10. So I have 10m minus 3 equals 17. So now we've moved the variables. The next thing we need to do is move the constants. So we need to identify our constants, and our constants are 3 and 17. Remember, the goal is to isolate the variable. So we need to move everything away from the variable. So I need to move this 3 to the other side. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. This becomes 10m equals 20. Okay, so we've now moved the constants. The very last thing we need to do is eliminate the coefficient. So we have a coefficient of 10. It's being multiplied. So the opposite of multiplication, because we have to go across, is division. So this becomes 1m equals 2, because 10 divided by 10 is 1. And our final answer is m equals 2. All right. Again, we're still reviewing what we've been doing. We have variables on both sides, and we want our numbers on this side, away from the variable. So we're going to look for like terms. Well, I have a 6 and a 1. I can combine those. So that gives me negative 2x. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2x plus 7. And on this side, I have a x and a 5x, so I can combine those. Well, 1x minus 5x, that's negative 4x minus 7. Put an equal sign in there. All right, so we combine like terms again, so we can check that off. Next thing I need to do is move variables. Well, we wanted the variables on the left-hand side, so that means this is on the left-hand side, but this isn't, so how do I move it? Well, crossing the equal sign, always doing the opposite operation. So this is a positive 4x, and this is a positive 4x. So negative 2x plus 4x is 2x plus 7 equals negative 7. All right, because this dropped away. And the reason I say it dropped away is if you have 4 and you take away 4, you end up with 0. All right, so you have nothing left. Now, the next thing we need, so we moved the variables. Now we need to move the constants. So what are my constants? Well, my constants are positive 7 and negative 7. But the goal is to get the variable by itself, so I need to move this plus 7 to the other side, and I do that by doing the opposite operation. The opposite of a plus 7 is a minus 7. This goes away. 2x equals negative 14. All right, dividing. Now the last thing we need to do is eliminate the coefficient. This is 2 times x. So the opposite of multiply is divide, because we're crossing the equal sign. So this gives me 1x equals negative 7, which gives me an answer of x equals -7. All right. So let's take a look at this. What's the difference between problem 1 and problem 2? And what I immediately notice is that problem 2 has parentheses. And we have not dealt with that yet. Problem 2 has parentheses. Well, I say that, the actual truth is on day 1, we did distributive property. And that's what we're going to have to do here. We're going to have to go 2 times 3 and 2 times this. And that gets rid of the parentheses. So let's look at our solving equations checklist. First step, distributive property, which is eliminate parentheses. Next step, combine like terms, move variables. By the way, we've done all of this. We did that all in our warm-up. So what we're adding today is distributive property. That's what's new. All right. And on day 1 of class, we introduced the concept of distributive property. Now we're actually going to use it. So with that said, let's start. We're going to distribute the 2 by how? Timesing by 2. Or multiplying by 2. So that's my little multiplication symbol. All right. So we have to multiply it by everything. 2 times 3 is 6. This is like having a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So we have a negative 2x plus 1 equals 1x minus 7 minus 5x. All right, next thing, we need to combine like terms. Well, what are my like terms? Well, 6 and 1, those can be combined. So that becomes 7. So we have 7 minus 2x. And on this side, I have like terms of 1x and negative 5x. So combine like terms by follow the sign. So 1x and 5x, that equals a negative 4x minus 7. Now we want we have variables on both sides. We want the variables on the left-hand side and the numbers on the right. So I need to move 2x is where it belongs, but that negative 4x is not. So I need to do that minus 4x by doing a plus 4x. This becomes 7 plus 2x equals, the only thing left over here, this became 0. So the only thing we have left is a minus 7. So the next step says move constant. So what are my constants? Well, 7 and negative 7. But the goal is to isolate the variable. So I need to move to the other side of the equal sign. So the negative 7 is already on the other side. So I have to move this 7. Well, it doesn't say it, but this is really a plus 7. So I need to do the plus 7. We're going across the equal sign, so we're doing the opposite. So minus 7. And this goes away, becomes 0. And then so we now have 2x equals negative 14. Adding and subtracting, if the signs are the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. The last thing is we need to eliminate the 2 or the positive 2, because this is 2 times x, by dividing by positive 2. And we end up getting 1x equals negative 7. So x equals negative 7. Kind of ran out of room there. I'll try to do better next time and give us a little more room. All right. That's how you do that. So let's do some practice problems together. Once again, here's our checklist. Hopefully we have enough room. I don't think we do. So let's go. First thing we're going to do, we're going to draw a line down the equal sign. Variables on this side, numbers on this side. And we're going to distribute, in this case, a negative 1 because this is a negative 1. And we're going to distribute and 6 by multiplying. I'm just going to use that as my multiplication sign. All right. Here I'll write the word multiply. We always distribute by multiplication. Well, negative 1 times, and by the way, a negative sign like this just switches the sign. So this becomes negative 1 minus 7x, because it went this times this and this times this. And the negative is a change agent. It just changes the signs. And 36. And then we go 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. And 6 times negative x is negative 6x. All right, next thing we do, we combine like terms by follow the sign. So what are my like terms? Well, I don't have any on this side. I can't combine the 1 and the 7, but on this side, I can combine the 36 with the negative 42. So I'll just copy this first side down, negative 1 minus 7x equals, this combines, the signs are different, so we subtract and keep the larger, so this is negative 6 minus 6x. The next step, move variables. All right, well, this is on the correct side, but this isn't, so I need to do the minus 6x. Well, if I'm crossing the equal sign, I have to do the opposite. The opposite of a minus 6x is a plus 6x. So negative 1 minus 1x equals negative 6. All right, so we move the variables. The next thing is we move constants by plus or minus. Well, the goal is to isolate the variables, so I need to move. And what are my constants? Well, this is a constant, and this is a constant. Well, this is already on the correct side, but this one's not. So how do I move a negative 1? I do move the negative 1 by doing a positive 1. So this becomes negative 1x equals negative 6. Finally, we eliminate the coefficient. So we're going to eliminate the negative 1 by dividing by negative 1. And going back to the triangle, a negative and a negative is a positive, so this is 6. So our answer is x equals 6. All right, let's try this one. So we're going to have to distribute. What are we distributing? Oh, we're distributing the 2 by multiply. So variables on this side, numbers on this side. This side doesn't have distributive property, so we can just copy it down. 4 plus 2x. This does. 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 3 is 6. All right, we need to combine like terms by follow the sign. So when I look at this, I don't have any like terms on this side because I can't combine the 4 and the 2x. But over here, I can combine the negative 6 and the negative 8. So we'll have to do that. So 4 plus 2x, because I can't combine those, 8x. This becomes, signs are the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. So negative 14, 6 plus 8 is 14. The next thing we need to do by our checklist is move variables. All right. So I need to move, well, the 2x is on the correct side, but this 8x isn't. So this 8x is a positive 8x. So I move the positive 8x by doing a minus 8x. This goes away, becomes 0. And I don't have, and that's nothing. So I have 4. 2 minus 8 is 6. So minus 6x equals negative 14. The next step is to move constants. Well, this 4 is a constant and this 14 is a constant. Well, the goal is to isolate the variable, so I need to move that 4 because I need to move it to the other side to isolate that variable. So to do that, I'm going to do a minus 4 and a minus 4, so because that's a plus 4. This goes away and I end up with negative 6x equals, signs are the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. The last thing, I need to eliminate that negative 6 because that's the only thing that necessary to get rid of it. Well, this is side by side. We're trying to get that, isolate that variable. And so this is negative times it. So I have to undo it by doing division, which we just use a fraction line. So we end up with 1x equals 3. And please remember, going back to the triangle, two negatives leave it a positive. So this is a positive. So our answer is x equals 3. And now we're to the one that I don't know that we're going to have time for or room for. So hopefully we will, but it's going to be close. So in this case, we need to distribute the 5s. So we actually have 2 of them. So I'm going to write it down because we have it here and here, 5 and 5 by multiply. All right, so let's do that. So 5 times 8 is 40, so this is negative 40x. 5 times 2 is 10, so we have negative 10, negative 12x. And then we have to distribute this. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Next thing, combine like terms by follow the sign. So next thing we need to do, according to our checklist, is move variables. We all want the variables on the same side, and why I haven't labeled it, we want variables on this side and numbers on this side. So the 40x is on the correct side, but this 12 is x is not. So I need to move the minus 12x. Well, how do I move a minus 12x? Well, by doing the opposite because we're crossing over. So, oh, excuse me. I haven't combined like terms yet. I failed to combine like terms. Let me back up a moment. I don't have any like terms on this side, but I do on this side. I have a 12x and a negative 25x. I have a 12x and negative 25x. Well, those combine together to give me negative 37x. Oops. Negative 37x plus 5. We said we couldn't do anything on this side, so we'll leave it the way it is, negative 4x minus 10. Apologize for the confusion. So negative 12 and negative 25 is negative 37x plus 5. So now we have to move variables to the same side. So I need to move this minus 37x. Well, how do I move a minus 37x? Well, I'm going to do it by doing the opposite, which is a plus 37x. This goes away. So I have negative 3x minus 10 equals 5. The last step, or the next step, according to our checklist, is to move constants. Well, negative 10 is a constant and 5 is a constant. So which one do I move? Remember, the goal is to isolate this letter and get it all by itself. So that means I need to move the minus 10. Well, how do I move it across? I always do the opposites. The opposite of minus 10 is plus 10. This becomes negative 3x. 5 plus 10 is 15. Finally, we need to eliminate our coefficient. Our coefficient is -3. It's side by side, so it's being multiplying. How do I undo multiplication? I do it by division. This goes away. I end up with 1x equals -5. My final answer is x equals -5. All right. Appreciate you watching. Hope it's been a good week. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.